Welcome back, everyone. And today, myself and Julie. How are you, Julie?
Good morning, fine Seewing. How are you?
Great, excellent. So we have another great topic. We'll talk about uh, Vice President candidate Kamala Harris and what are the housing proposal she's initiating if she will become president of the United States. So this is a very informative breaking news. So Julie, thank you for co-hosting with me on this podcast.
Oh,
So
thank you for having me. It sounds like an interesting subject.
before I begin, I just want to say I'm not being political. Okay, I'm going to leave politics out of the way. I'm going to talk about pure economics, pure housing, and see. We can go through this Redfin article just came out a few days ago, and then we can discuss maybe 15 minutes of it. Then I'm going to have my own one slide show about my personal opinion and the pros and cons of her housing plan. Right?
Right. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, sounds very good. So here we are. So you can see very well, right?
Yes.
So Redfin data dated August 20th, a couple of days ago, written by Redfin Daryl Fairweather, the chief economist of Redfin. And the headline is, here's what a Kamala Harris presidency could mean for the housing market. Wow.
Mm.
Okay, here we go. Let me highlight certain paragraphs. U.S. home price sales have risen nearly 40% since President Biden took office. Mortgage rates are just now coming down from a 2-decade high, and rental prices are near record high.
Mm.
For voters, the difficulty of paying for a place to live is understandably a major issue in the run-up to this year's presidential election and putting housing policy at the forefront.
Mhm.
So, really quite affordability crisis is Kamala Harris is proposing by building millions of new homes. And
Mhm.
most important, what my takeaway is she's trying to put together a $25,000 down payment tax credit for first-time homeowners and the people at the lower economic demographics. We'll see.
Interesting.
So here's a funny part. Here's the next paragraph. Her plan is astoundingly ambitious. There's a
Right.
there's an understatement.
Right.
It's
Wow.
amazing. Look, just so you know, for those of you to know who am I? I've been part of the government for a good 20 years because I was in the U.S. Army
Mhm.
active duty for 20 years back in starting 1980s and
Uh,
retired in 2002.
mhm.
So I've been part of by being in the U.S. Army, I'm part of the federal government bureaucracy.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
So I know the governmental bureaucracy is happening with this particular housing plan proposal by Kamala Harris. Oh,
Sure. Okay.
by the way,
Okay.
you and I've been living in California for the 33 years now. Here in the Bay Area, I've been living here. And you've been living in
Mhm.
Southern California for all your life as well.
My whole life, yes.
Kamala Harris, I remember back in 30 years ago, Kamala Harris was just up and coming. She was a young politician. And then I see her on the news all the time over the years, right? She's the mayor of San Francisco. Or maybe not.
Mm.
No, not she was. Anyway, I know her ascension into the political arena. I'm not surprised about her because living in California, living in the Bay Area, she and Governor Newsom
Mm.
always hear on nightly news throughout the years.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Anyway, that's neither good or bad. Again, I'm not here to be political.
Right.
Just let's talk,
Right.
let's talk housing, let's talk economics. So,
Hmm.
if the major flaws is that it tries to do too much, the ambitious plan is too much, and then he goes on to say, this Redfin article, and its success depends on all of the various components being implemented in
Right.
perfect synchrony and harmony. When I read this article, it just triggered my brain. You know the
Yes.
you know the song Stevie Wonder and Paul McCartney?
Yes.
Ebony,
Ebony and Ivory.
we live together, me. Side by side in my piano. Keep voice
Oh, that's an old one.
wing. Okay, I digress.
That's funny. Yeah. Wow. Perfect
Well,
harmony and synchrony and harmony. Wow.
that's when I hear a politician say that synchrony and harmony, that's an oxymoron.
Like U.S. government, the synchrony and harmony, they don't match.
That remind me, Julie, that remind me, but in the military, we have this, what is the military occupation out there is they have like, that's an occupation military, is military intelligence.
Mhm.
Military intelligence is a job in the military. It's oxymoron. Military
Yeah.
does not equal intelligence.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Very interesting.
When I see this comment by Kamala Harris,
Yes.
synchrony and harmony, it's an oxymoron.
Not going to go together. Exactly. Mhm.
When I saw this quote by Kamala Harris, then I said to myself, this is not going to end well. Okay.
Right.
At least it's worth a try, Julie. It's worth a try. Why? Because the home affordability is a major crisis we're seeing.
Sure.
The housing
Absolutely.
market is, Julie, the housing market is completely broken. Agree with me or not?
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. Yes. Absolutely.
Now, again, I'll make a comment. What I mean by completely broken, the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell, he has broken the housing market by lowering the mortgage rate during the onset of the pandemic. Lower the mortgage rate to 3%, historical low rate. That
Right.
creates massive amount of demand, and therefore we because of that, during the 18 months run up from the latter part of 2020 until the middle of 2022, the 18-month window with the low mortgage rate,
Right.
housing prices skyrocketed,
Yes.
right? And a whole bunch of people bought houses, but the poor, the lower economic class, they were unable to do that. At that time, the typical median price of a home back in 2020, a mortgage payment 3 years ago were like, let's say like $1,400, right? Median price of a home in the United States, with a 3% mortgage rate. The monthly mortgage payment for a primary buyer at that time, 4 years ago, $1,500, let's say, right?
Mhm.
I'm not exactly sure. But today, because the mortgage rate has skyrocketed from 3% to 8% late last year, and now back down to 6.5%, then
Right.
6.5%, thank God. But the mortgage payment on a median price of a home of $400,000 is almost 100% from 4 years ago to all the way up to almost like $3,000 we're talking, right?
Wow. Yeah.
That is the reason for the home affordability crisis that we're experiencing. That's why Kamala Harris wanted to propose this ambitious housing plan. Okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
You have any quick thought about what I just?
No, I'm looking to see where this is going next.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, and here it is. It's very ambitious. Okay, it's better to have a plan than no plan at all. This is
True. I agree.
this is a step forward. Let's see how this will transpire if she becomes president. Who knows? But the 4 key points of the Harris housing plan is build 3 million new for sale homes and rental homes also, not just, okay? And however, to build all these new homes, Harris have to go through the government red tape.
Which is a lot of red tape.
That is whatever. Quicker, cheaper, because how can you do a quicker, cheaper of construction of homes when the challenges with the builders always has been? Builders these days, they cannot build quicker and cheaper homes, right? The supply of materials, the lumber,
Yes.
the lack of labor, the lack of workers to ramp up new construction. New home construction has been way below what's required ever since the housing crash of 2008.
Correct.
You know, it just can't happen. Anyway, okay, let's continue. Try to partner with the local city. I mean, when the federal government try to partner with a local state government and city government, work together in harmony to create this housing affordability, new construction homes. Again,
Right.
that's oxymoron. See,
Yes.
For years, the strife between federal and local governments has been going on. I think they're never in the same sheet of music, or they're never are in sync. What makes Kamala Harris think it's gonna be different this time? Yeah, local government, city government does not coordinate well with the federal government in
Right.
any type of um, initiative. That's history. Okay, how can you go back and change long-term history? Okay, some of the
Can't.
yeah, you can. Some of the things that the federal government want to do is provide tax benefits for local construction companies, developers, give more tax incentive for developers to build these quick homes. And again, the intention is very well founded. Help low-income Americans find affordable housing.
Right.
Or yeah, we get all that tax credit. Yeah, so I'm not going to spend too much time on those things. But primarily to low-income housing would benefit the most. Okay, and to build more, but primary low-income housing would benefit the most vulnerable renters. Market price of new construction homes, which tends to be only affordable to higher income earners. Given today's high housing costs and skyrocketing home prices, a lot of
Right.
low income potential homeowners, they're probably not going to qualify to just $25,000 credit because their income, if they go finance a loan of any types, I could be wrong, but it's very hard to qualify. So therefore, you can find higher income middle class Americans from using this program.
That's interesting. So the very people it's designed to help will not be able to benefit from the program.
Because of the currently we still have extremely low supply of homes, right, and high demand. With the mortgage rate down to 6.5% now for a good, but you're gonna trigger more demand now moving forward. It just
Right.
continue to be 6.5% the low inventory right now, and we can see some mini bidding war, mini multiple offers going on little by little. For the rest of this year, if the rate stays at 6.5, that is likely lower, and with maybe a proposed one rate cut by the Fed next month, September, then in next year, 2025, there are a lot of people predict there will be several rate cut by Jerome Powell with the Federal Reserve. And if that's what the case in 2025, we could very well see the mortgage rate come even lower to maybe down to 6%, maybe down to 5.8% in 2025 and 2026. You know what's going to happen when the mortgage rate comes down to 5.8% or 6.3% in the next 18 months? What do you think is going to happen to the housing market?
It's going to be a frenzy again. You're going to see this buying frenzy again.
That's right.
And then prices are going to go up.
And then,
Because it'll be a seller's market.
you're absolutely right. Very good point. Here's a deal. When that happens, the people who qualify for this housing plan are giving the $25,000
Absolutely.
incentive. When the seller see this first-time home buyer with $25,000 incentive,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
you know what the seller is going to do? Raise their price to
Absolutely.
$25,000.
That's right. Yeah. So it's like you don't win. Like I said, when the prices start going up, more buyers are coming in, raises the prices. So the very people, as I said earlier, that are designed to benefit from this, the low income, are still not going to be able to compete in the market.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom line. Unless you're going to force someone to sell it at a lower price, which we call that a dictatorship, and you can't do that.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, the market, it is what it is. It's supply and demand. And with the lower mortgage rate coming up in the next 18 months, presumably no one can predict the future. Any home buyers, if this plan gets implemented and if somebody who have a $25,000 credit, they could be motivated to buy, they could compete against a whole bunch of other buyers for a limited supply of inventory.
Exactly.
Where the heck the inventory is going to come from?
Yeah, she's going to build all those new houses with a $100 million grant. But
As
where
we-
do you put them? Yeah.
as
Where are
we-
you building them?
That's right. Constructing new homes is a slow process for the reasons we
Mhm.
just discussed, but we still have a lock-in effect.
Mhm.
The majority of the 140 million homeowners,
Mhm.
40% of the current mortgage holders who own the houses, they are free and clear on their home.
Right.
Free
Right.
and clear, no mortgages. 40% of the U.S.
Mhm.
homeowners, they're not going
Right.
to. They could
Why
stay.
would they sell? Exactly.
And then 80% of all the people that have mortgages right now, they have a mortgage rate below 5.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Some of them may sell for many life situation reasons, right? Only a small percentage of the people have 5% mortgage rate. They might
Right.
want to sell, especially if the new mortgage rate in the next 18 months will be 5.8%. This category of people may sell, but still the demand going to be higher. The demand
Yes, I agree.
because people sitting on the sidelines right now are waiting for this
Yep.
mortgage rate to come down, and they will get off the sideline and they going to bombard the housing market, and then everything will go crazy again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then even with the 25,000 down, you're really limited to very certain areas in the United States. Like you couldn't, like in California, $25,000 down is really not going to help you.
Well,
It just won't. There are certain areas. Like I was even thinking, like where I've owned my properties up in the upstate New York area, that would help in an area like that. But yeah, you're going to be resigned to very specific territories in specific states.
Julie, very good point. I almost forgot. I love what you just said. I was going to talk about that. You just triggered my memory. I supposed to mention that. Thank you for bringing this up. Yeah, this 25 grand grant, whatever tax credit, is not going to help Californians because the median price of a California home is $1 million. That's a drop on a bucket. But
Exactly.
this housing plan, if it get implemented, is going to help the more affordable areas, the Midwest and the South.
Yes.
You know what's going to happen to those markets in the Midwest and in the South and Southeast? Those entry-level homes, like 200, 300, 400K, they're going to be selling like truck cakes. It's new ammunition of 25
Exactly.
incentive.
Which is still going to present the same problem. If there's a higher demand than there is supply, then the sellers are going to start raising their prices.
Exactly. Fundamentals, economics 101.
Exactly.
Demand will exceed supply because there's no way we can ramp up the resale inventory. People have a lock-in effect for a long time ago, beyond this decade, in my opinion. And the new home construction, it's going to take time for the reasons we just stated: labor shortages, supply chain disruptions, and lumber mills and
absolutely, yes.
And, so here's my and those entry-level homes in the Midwest and South and Southeast, they could explode.
Yes, absolutely.
What you just said.
Absolutely, you're right. You're right.
You know how easy to buy those $200,000 homes in the Midwest?
Right.
Whatever. Anyway, okay, there's a silver lining, Julie. There's a silver lining because you and I are real estate investors, right? This is what I do, right?
Exactly.
And you as an investor, you buy,
yes.
You buy cash flow homes in the very affordable entry-level markets, and you don't know what your cash flow. Here's my thought. Okay, as an investor, I'd be remiss if I don't talk about what's available. How can investors like you and I can capitalize on this situation? So, Julie, here's my thoughts. I believe 5 minutes will conclude. Kamala will make real estate very expensive. We just talked about that, right?
Yes, definitely.
It'll spur demand amazingly. Not to the extent of 2021. We'll probably never see the 2021 housing boom ever again, right? It'll widen the wealth gap between the rich and the poor, right? The wealth gap is already very wide, very rich and very poor.
Yes.
In my opinion, there's no more middle class. The middle class are the lower economic echelon of American society. And the very rich continue to be rich because they can afford to buy real estate. They can buy all cash if they want to. The real estate investors, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% correct.
But us, you and I, as a mom and pop, typical, everyday turkey investors, we can profit from inflation, right? profit from the housing shortages because inflation will increase our real estate asset class that we own as rental property owners. Okay. Every time I go shopping, consumer shopping, groceries and food, everything else, the real inflation is closer to 6%,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
3%. Come on.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
the government definition of inflation is very different than real inflation.
In real world. Exactly.
When you and I have been shopping lately, grocery, whatever, and eating out, whatever, our pockets feel it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hmm.
This perhaps the most worrying aspect of this for the housing market is that Kamala Harris, latest economic vision: 3 million new low income housing units is not realistic. Very
Mm.
hard. Right now, we are like so far we have like 700,000 homes for sale. Even though the supplier inventory is a lot higher, 35%
Right.
higher
Right.
than last year over year, we are still 35% below of supply of home inventory from compared to the pre-pandemic years. So
Wow.
for the government to build to assist in building $3 million homes are very unrealistic. But anyway, government programs of this scale always lead to inefficiency and skyrocketing costs.
Interesting.
And so her proposal to monitor corporations and control price increases while ignoring the real drivers of inflation, like government spending and Federal Reserve policies,
Mhm.
only adds to the uncertainty. Policies always sound good on paper, but could lead to unintended consequences. Housing shortages,
Yes. Yes.
vicious cycle. Shortage of
Policy. Yeah. That's interesting. When you said the policies always sound good on paper. And what that does is that gets votes.
That's right.
It gets votes, but
Yeah.
then can it materialize once you get the position?
Okay, I'm not being political. I might have to go there just 1 second, just 1 minute.
Yeah.
In every presidential change over a presidency, when they do the consumer survey, they always do about who's voting, what's the percentage. Do you know
Right.
economy is the majority of the 70% of people vote. How they determine the next presidency is based on the economy. If they have a way to fix the economy when a new president gets elected, that's how people vote. Based on economy.
Yes.
It's not based on other things.
Good point. Very good point. Hmm.
So if Kamala Harris or whoever becomes president, if they can find a way to convince the voting public that the economy is going to get better and they have a concrete plan, which Kamala Harris does. She already came up with this concrete housing plan. A lot of people like it on paper, but
Right.
the other candidate, Donald Trump, he doesn't even have a concrete plan, let alone an economic stimulus plan. Right?
Mm.
So
Mhm.
in my view, Kamala Harris have the upper hand right now because this housing plan we're just talking about, give her the heads up. Give her the heads up
Mhm.
as we go through the election in November.
Yes.
What do
Good
you
point. Very good point. No, I agree. I agree with that. Very good point. A plan is always better than no plan. Whether it materializes or not is another subject.
Yep. Harris is one up on Trump. And
Right.
this economics. I'm not giving am I giving a political viewpoint?
Just a little bit.
Okay, I don't want to go there. Anyway, so if you look at this chart, look, the housing prices back in 2008, 2009, the building,
Mm.
the construction industry got devastated. So ever since after the housing crisis in 2008, look at this, 2006 to 2010, the construction of new homes have vertically plummeted.
Okay. Wow. A
Ever
lot.
since, ever since 2010, the new construction homes slowly, steadily climbing up, but nowhere near the level
Right.
needed to create a housing market.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I can see that. Wow.
So construction for the past 13, 14 years are still trying to catch up.
Yes.
What makes you think a 3 million units will be built in the next few years after Kamala Harris becomes president?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right, I conclude with this. Right, as a risk investor, you and I, Julie, and many others out there who are watching, By investing now, meaning by buying rental properties in affordable markets, cash flow houses with 25% down cash flow,
Correct.
you can position yourself ahead of the curve,
Right.
capitalizing on the inevitable price increase that will follow these policies.
Makes sense. Yes.
The media may continue to praise Kamala's vision, but savvy investors like you and I, and open
Right.
part of my network, at least, we
Yeah.
know better. We know better. Real estate has always been a reliable hedge against inflation, and with the government poised to make housing even more expensive, now is the time to
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. That's
So,
interesting.
I gave you my takeaway. What is your final takeaway before we're done with this podcast?
Wow. I think that people need to just read between the lines. Do your research and do your homework, especially, and not to get political. If you're going to make a vote or cast your vote, make sure you're doing it on the right information with the total picture. Not that this is about politics or anything. But yeah, like it sounds very good on paper, but when you really dig deeper into it, it's really not going to benefit the people that it's designed to benefit.
I agree. Thank you so much. You have some very good perspective, Julie. As always, thank you so much for your wisdom and your knowledge and your opinions. So with that in mind, if you guys, I know this video have gone longer than supposed to. Julie, as always, I have so much great value
Right.
to put out. I have to spend whatever time I think necessary to articulate my thoughts, so you guys can value from my wisdom and experience. So you guys,
Right.
and whether you are a primary home buyer or whether you're a real estate investor, you can learn and get educated, get informed, because we're trying to be objective. Okay, we're
Right.
doom and gloomers. We support our opinions through data, through real, verifiable
Right.
economic and housing data, which is not. I can't say that for other YouTube creators out there.
Now, this has been good. It's been very informative, very good. Different subjects from what we normally talk about, but definitely worth hearing the information.
Julie, as you and I talk about future podcasts, we can do more economic and housing discussions similar to this one.
Sure. Absolutely.
Anyway, again, my final thought is, again, value whatsoever, any kind of value, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and comment below. What do you think? Okay, stop being political. Okay, you write what you want to write. Comment below. What do you think about the plan? What do you think about the housing market?
Exactly.
What do you think about all these things that we discussed? Thank you so much. And also email, or put your email into our website below so you can become a free insider within our network, so you can receive free daily updates about the housing markets, about the video we put out, news flow, so you can potentially become a real estate investor yourself. Just like I've been coaching and guiding people for several decades. I guide this lady right here to create a great 6-property real estate portfolio.
Yes, absolutely.
Put it quickly. So thank you, Julie,
Thank you.
for partnering with us. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Sounds good. Have a great day.
Okay, see you next week. Bye-bye.